Hello everyone, welcome to the show Meet the Global Leader. Meet the Global Leader is a platform in which we invite many global leaders, and we School of Entrepreneurship Development mainly conduct this session. School of Entrepreneurship Development is a platform where we work for the development of entrepreneurial skill and leadership skill of Bangladesh. We work to empower people for better Bangladesh. And today's program, in today's Meet the Global Leader program, we're very much happy. We have a very special guest with us. Uh, if you talk about extracurricular activities, she has guest stardom, I must say. She is a debater, she's a news presenter, and at the same time she's a singer, and she's no less than a Wonder Woman. So let's meet her. She is none other than Raisa Azad Sera. Raisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you for saying those kind words about me. And thank you for inviting me to join this webinar. It's an honor to be here. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, pleasure is all mine. Anyway, first of all, Raisa, I would like to say our this program is basically followed by many students from public and private universities. So if you tell about your story, about if you enlighten us about your academic life, your career life, then they will be highly inspired. So would you please enlighten us about yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Raisa Zatsher, as you already know. So right now, I am living in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. So I came to Canada a little over 3 years ago for higher studies, and then completed my master's at University of Manitoba, and undergrad from Bangladesh at Istas University. So right now, I am working as a quality analyst lead at 24/7 In Touch. So before we start answering all the other questions, I just want to put it out there that I'm not an expert or someone who is like super successful. I am still navigating my way through my career. So I would like to share the challenges that I have faced. So the small things that I have learned from tackling some obstacles. So if that information can help you in your future planning, then that would be enough for me. If I can just, share those experiences.
Okay, you are just being humble. We must say you are no less than an expert. That's the thing we must say. Anyway, Raisa, if I talk about, if I ask you a second question, my question will be: there's little difference between the normal person, a leader, when it comes to take good decision in critical time, and there are some ways to approach the problem. When you solve business cases, it can be Harvard business school cases or some of the cases. We always say you first have to differentiate between the problem and symptom. So I would ask you, in your personal life, in your corporate life, and maybe your academic life as well, how do you approach any problem? How you come up with unique solution? And would you please give an example so that our juniors or the young generation can have idea that how uniquely we can approach a problem?
Yeah, I love the thing that you told about symptoms and problem. That's also important, of course. It actually depends on what kind of problem it is. So if it's some kind of issue that is happening at work specifically, the first thing I would do is find out the root cause of the issue. At the same time, it's important to know what I want to achieve. So what my final target is, those two things. Otherwise, I would kind of don't know what my path should be, right? So that's the first thing. And then at work, what I would do is, if I am working as a lead or if I'm working under someone, I would definitely talk to my teammates, to my manager, to consult with them. It's always better to get others' opinion when it's like a critical problem. And it helps you to get a fresh view about the problem and reach to the solution faster. So if you want like an example, I'm trying to think of an example over here because everything that's coming to my mind right now is work related. So I'll try to give you like a generic idea. So right now I work at a contact center. So that means basically what we call is a call center, right? So people like agents will take calls from customers, customer service, all those things. So as a QA lead, we look at the quality that of service that they're providing, their behavior, their metrics, all those things. So once we noticed that their survey that they're getting from the customers, they're just going down and down and down, and they're getting so many negative reviews about them, negative comments about them. So that was our problem at hand, and our client was crazy. What's going on? Why is it going down so much? So the very first thing we did was collect data, like what's happening in those calls. Why is this happening? What's the root cause of the customer satisfaction going down? So after a lot of digging, data collecting, we found out that those are very new advisors. So what they don't know is the software over here. And even if they know the software and the solution that to give to the customer, they cannot position it properly. They cannot say it properly that, okay, this is the solution. I'm going to help you this way. So those two things we found out, like navigating the system and soft skills. So that's how we found out the root cause, and then we targeted those with the agents over there. So that's just a small example that I could think of.
Thank you very much, Raisa. It was so kind of you to share your really a genuine experience. Sometimes we come up with the simulation of many situations, but you brought an exact situation which you are facing at the moment. I think if you are watching from any university, I think it's a great learning experience for you. So please stay with us. We will be talking more about this sort of thing. So, Raisa, my next question is, I personally believe greatly that a person without a passion is a person without growth. So every person has passion. If you ask me, I would say my passion is I just love to talk. I'm an entrepreneur. I would like to speak the spirit of entrepreneurship to all over Bangladesh. So my question to you is, what is your passion exactly? There is one thing common between you and me. It's very interesting. My profile picture is about the Van Gogh Starry Night, and I also saw a Starry Night picture behind you. I think it's a very funny thing. Apart from this, if I seriously, if I talk you, if I ask you, what is your passion? Which things fascinate you most? What would you say?
Thank you for that question. If you actually see in my background, you can like see partial of that Van Gogh painting. So I am a big fan of those specific painting. There are two actually, Starry Night and Starry Night on the River. That's in my living room. So yeah, I have it everywhere. So apart from that, as my passion, what I would say is my first passion right now is traveling, especially traveling solo. So I have traveled to 3 provinces in Canada, some cities in the US by myself. I have traveled before, but that was like with family. So always traveling by myself, it brings amazing, unique experiences. Here in summer, I like to go for hiking or canoeing sometime. And other than that, you already mentioned music. So I love singing. I went to a music school for 8 years. So I'm still trying to, keep that practice alive and keep practicing my music as much as I can. So those are my passions.
Okay, so your passion is you like to travel alone, and at the same time, singing is also your passion. So my next question is, if I don't know whether the audience can remember you or not, but I still can remember you. There was a news show like Mukto Khobor, which was first started in Equity Television. Later on, it was launched in ATN Bangla, if I'm not wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I would say it was like generation defining a program, generation defining news presentation show. And you were one of the hosts of this show. So my question is, how did you get this opportunity? And do you think the Raisa Azad Sera that you are today, do you think those sort of things had great impact on you?
Yes, I think so. It was a life-changing experience for me. So those of you who don't know, it was a weekly program that was made for the teenager people in Bangladesh. It was a news-based program, and at the same time, it was created, hosted, and all the journalists there, all of us were teenagers. So how I got chance there was by basically applying from an ad on the paper. I filled up the form, I applied. There were, I think, 5, 6 stages of interviews. So eventually I got chance, and I was very young. I was in class 5 back then. So eventually I got to um, go on air when I was in class 8. I worked as a news anchor there for a few years. The one you're talking about, 18 News, I think that's like a separate program, but very similar. Many of ex Mukta Khabor people has gone over there. So that was also a really good program for teenagers. Working in Mukta Khabor, it was such a unique experience because I was so young, but I got to work from people of different ages, my age, of course, and then there were the producer, then there are the camera people, the people working behind editing. So from a very young age, I learned to work in kind of like a professional environment, if that makes sense. So that helped me a lot. And it helped me a lot of patience, because recording, it was not live, it was recorded. So recording every week, it was a very long procedure. We were novice, so we would make mistakes like 10, 12 times, and we would have to keep going on and on. If we were right, maybe our co-anchor would do some mistake, so we would have to go through that. And even as a journalist, like, we did anchoring in the studio, and we also went out to the field to do reports. So that's when we would stay out for 10, 12 hours just for a 2-minute report. So it taught me a lot. And there were exciting stories as well. If you remember the mobile court thing that happened.
Sorry to
Mhm,
interrupt you. I was a great fan of Mukta Khabor. So,
mhm.
would you please share any like funny moments or exciting moments which still peep into your heart, or you still can remind those moments, and you sometimes laugh, or you sometimes become very excited? Would you please share some funny moments?
Um, I can actually. One moment was, if you remember, there was this mobile court thing that just started, who would have a magistrate and have raids on shops for food with formalin and chemicals, and maybe polythene factories. So, what would usually happen is there would be magistrate, there would be a team, and there would be some police, and they would have a team of journalists. So I was lucky enough to be a part of that team once or twice, I think. So it was really interesting, because it was a polythene factory that we got to know, okay, there's their location, their secret location. And we all we tried to go kind of sneak through the front door. And the people inside, some of us were like going over the wall. So before we could raid the place or go into the place, the people working inside, they kind of escaped through the back door. So the moment we went in, we couldn't catch anyone. But the whole experience, the anticipation, all the people working, it was really exciting for me, especially as I was a kid basically back then. So it was a fun experience for me.
Okay, so nice hearing from you. I think uh, if you talk about the content of our country of countries, many television channels. If you talk about BTV, we used to you watch the classical drama Kothao Keu Nei, Aaj Robibar, and if you talk about the talk show that is going on at the moment in many television channels. I think Ekusha Television was the pioneer of these sort of things, if I'm not wrong. And they first came up with this talk show, and they came up with some glamorous show. So then some other television channels followed their footsteps, and still now we are seeing the television industry that is prevailing at the moment. I think uh, Bangladesh television, the previously, and the Equish television initially can take big credit for this long evolution of our television industry. So so far we are talking about so many things already. Mohammad Amanullah Aman, he is the CEO of our School of Entrepreneurship Development. She has said wonderful. Tulip Khan, she is the head of finance. She also said amazing. Thank you so much for your kind words. Hopefully, we'll be talking more about these sort of important things. So now, Raisa, I would like to talk about another thing, that the question that I didn't tell you that I would ask, that is do you think debate is one of the extracurricular activities? We can say this is the mother extracurricular activities. And if you talk about the recently that we have seen the debate of Imran Khan, the head of strategy in Snapchat and the founder of Veryshop. Uh, Wherever you go, if you talk about debater, they are the pioneers in in many things in many ways. And if you ask me, I was also the part of Notre Dame debating club. So do you think our young generation should before pursuing their career, they actually get themselves involved with debate and this sort of thing, so that they can uh, sharpen their skill, their analytical skill, their public speaking skill as well?
Yes, of course. Debating is something that prepares you for the practical life after you finish being a student, to be honest, because when you participate in debating, you are not only keeping up with the current affairs, networking when you are competing in different competitions, but at the same time, you're learning how to stand your ground basically. So it is a very basic life skill that can be used anywhere in life. If you are becoming a job holder, if you're working under someone, if you're becoming an entrepreneur, at every stage of life, you would have to prove your opinion, like this is why I think this is right, or I disagree with you, or I agree with you. So all those opinions and points, at some point in your life you will have to prove yourself. So debating helps with that, and of course the obvious skill of public speaking is there. So combined, I think debating is something that every student should try at some point in their life.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in our country, many students struggle to speak in English, and English is a global language. So you can also try in speaking in English, English debate. So you will have edge over other competitors, over other applicants who are trying to have good job in MNC or some other organization. Very appreciate, Raisa. My next question is. You are living in Canada, you are pursuing your career in Canada, and if you look at the situation, the present situation in Bangladesh, Bangladesh is called the land of mass of this sort of thing, or you can say Bangladesh is the land of many unemployed graduates. There's so many BBA and MBA graduates out there, and BBA and MBA cannot be the only character to get the job. There's so many skills you must acquire to get a job. So what do you think? Apart from BBA, MBA, do you think there are some skills that you have mastered living in Canada? Our youths also should master these sort of skills. If you ask you, then which skills they should master so that they can cope up with newly changed world, and they can have good position in their respective field?
Yeah, that's a very good question. From my experience, I have learned that just the degree is definitely not enough. Um, when you are a student, whether it's undergrad, master's, doesn't matter, don't only learn the theories. Yes, they will help, but the most important thing is to learn the practical use of those very theories. For example, if you are an economics student, don't only write your thesis paper based on some data, like try to understand how we would use the same analysis, like same research method, maybe same multiple regression in a real life scenario or in a project if you were working for a company. So that kind of helps to bring your learning into real life, just not memorizing the methodologies. That's a very like general skill. I wouldn't say skill, like a general mindset that you should have before even you graduate. The second thing is trying to volunteer as much as you can, be parts of clubs, be parts of organizations. It will teach you some skills like that doesn't come with academic education. It will be, of course, cooperating in a team. And also, if you like volunteer in different events, you will learn to think. You will learn how to think on your feet, because in those events, if it's a huge event, there are always something going on. Always you have to you have to put up some fire. Um, someone is late, someone is going wrong, so you will have to manage the disaster or whatever that's going on. So it helps you to learn decision making as well. And you know what, once you add this in your resume, it shows that you're dedicated to your community and a person who self-initiates. So it will help you in future in getting even scholarships if you want to go for higher studies and for getting good jobs, whatever is your target.
Okay. Now I would add more question regarding this segment. That is, we talked about the skills that you master to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to job recruitment or this sort of thing. My next question is, this is the fourth industrial revolution, and this is the age of internet of things. This is the age of artificial intelligence and algorithm and all these things. So to survive in this industrial revolution, in fourth industrial revolution, I think precisely which skills we should master, which skills every students academician must master, so that they will no more face any problem in their career, in their entrepreneurial aspect, or in their respective fields.
So the fourth industrial revolution, mainly it's technological evolution or revolution, right? So everything is becoming digital, computer based, AI based. So of course, apart from your academic learning, what your university is teaching you, you have to learn those software skills, right? The very basic is definitely Excel and Google Suite, but that's where it just starts. You would have to learn how to do analysis based on those. Doesn't matter which way you go. If you're trying to become entrepreneur, you might need to forecast your revenue. You might need to like prepare your budget. So that's one. Second is based on your field of study, where you want to go. You might have to learn advanced software. For example, see, I keep going back to economics because I was a student of economics and finance. So if you are a student of economics, you might need to know the software that is data analysis, visualization. It could be R, it could be Stata, it could be MATLAB. Then once again, Python, it's very useful in all kinds of career right now. So when you were studying the normal things, the curriculum, always at the side start learning these additional softwares because they will help you big time later on. So that will be my suggestion.
Okay, very nicely explained. I think some basic software that you came up with, say for example R, I think this should be im implied as a mandatory software, because if you want to submit any paper, if you want to emerge like an author by publishing any your research journal, then SPSS, Excel and R, these sort of things you must learn without any further ado, and as soon as possible, as much as possible. I think this is a very clear message to you all. This is no more like there was a time when we used to say that Akish Group of Industries was founded, Samsonish Chaudhary Square founded Square Group, and they literally didn't have any sort of study. But this age is not different. This age is called the war, a battleground for the talented people. You will see Elon Musk anywhere you go. There are so many people. The student who is studying in Harvard University, and student who is studying in University of Bangladesh, University of Dhaka, they both have same resources. You have YouTube as a your teacher. You have so many sources. So you are responsible for your development. So I think you will follow what our today's guest has suggested, and if you follow this, then definitely your future will be very bright. So far we have talked about many issues. Now my question is, COVID-19, I think it has affected your personal life as well, and I don't know, maybe your career life as well. It has affected us in every person in so many ways. And if you look at the global perspective, there's some company, I don't know, maybe $1 million or $1 billion valued company. Say for example, Jesse Penny, it has been bankrupted, and Airbnb, one of the finest startups, it went through tremendous financial loss. So it is like a disaster for many of us. So my question to you is, say for example, you have been nominated or you have been selected as the chairman of as the head of United Nation, or maybe some other very crucial position. So my question to you is, how do you change or how do you design the post-COVID situation? Because unemployment rate is what can I say, soaring up, and at the same time, the employment opportunity is decreasing. So how do you design the post-COVID atmosphere? You are an economist. From the perspective of economist, what would you do, and what would be your suggestion?
That's a very good one, and it's true. It has hit everyone. COVID. Every country's economy is getting hit. The GDP is stalling or even going to the negative side. Bangladesh is comparatively a little better. It didn't go like it didn't stall, but still it affected all the industries, right? And it's interesting that you mentioned Airbnb because the company that I work at, they have different accounts, and one of the accounts I actually worked there before. It was for Airbnb, and after moving from there, COVID started, and it basically stopped all kinds of operations, and they fired basically 90% of the people. Many of my friends lost their jobs because of that. So it has been a crazy time, and the effect is still going on. So the post-COVID world, it's to be, to say blankly, it's going to be tough. All economies are getting hit, right? So what I would do if I had the chance to design a post-COVID world, I would encourage everyone to work together and not sit at home, because some people, like many of us, actually have the mentality, no, I have to do a job. So since many companies are shutting down, there will be even less jobs and more competition, many unemployed people. So even if you cannot get a job, I would like to incentivize any kind of entrepreneurship if it's possible, like monetary incentive, so that they can actually start working on their own. And what will happen is, the more economic activity we have, whether it's entrepreneurship, you are producing revenue. Whether you are doing a job, you are producing revenue for the company you're working for, or you are earning money for yourself. You're putting money in the economy. So the more money circulating in the economy means the economy will get boosted. So that's the very basic methodology, or like the process. So the point is that whatever, however it is, post-COVID world, don't sit at home. Try whatever you can. If it's a small business, start with your friends, try something. So that would be the target if I had to design the post-COVID world.
Well, I would say the same thing that you have said, and I would like to share an interesting thing with you. I have a faculty named Dr. Mahbub Ali. He's from Dhaka School of Economics. If I'm not wrong, when it comes to entrepreneurial economics, he's the only postdoctorate in Bangladesh. He actually said the same thing that you said. He said stopping work during the COVID time is like systematic destruction of economy, because it's not like that people don't love to work. You can have work through online basis, and Amazon e-commerce site and e-commerce business, this has increased. I think it has 10x growth in recent times. And if you ask me about Bangladesh, there are some companies like Chaldal, like Sera XYZ, and Shopno Online. They, and even Pathao, they started Tong, their venture, and they've thrived very well, and even during the pandemic time. So our solution not should not be we sit at home, and when we say stay home, stay safe. It's not like stay outside and stay safe and stay financially safe. This should be the motto from our perspective. So thank you very much for sharing such a analytical your approach in solving this sort of situation. Uh, my next question is a bit interesting. If I ask you at the moment, are you volunteering in any organization, or are you engaged with any social organization at the moment in Canada or maybe in some other countries?
So before I answer that question, I remembered when you were mentioning about these online platforms that I forgot to mention something. I was talking about software skills, right? So if you do have access from Bangladesh, try maybe Coursera, or try meetup.com. Those are really good resources for you. Of course, YouTube is there, but sometimes the free resources, they wouldn't have like the full course thing. But Coursera, what it I found out because I use it myself, what it does is it has courses, certifications endorsed by universities like University of Pennsylvania, sometimes even by Oxford, so or companies like IBM. So that will help you when you are waiting at home looking for a job and maybe trying to start a small business. Try to learn these skills online. And if you want to do networking, meetup.com, that's also a really good place. You can find your topics of interest and try to go there. I am not sure if you do have access, but I would suggest using VPN and try that anyway because it has a lot of options.
Well,
If you're yeah.
sorry to interrupt you. I mainly follow Udemy, and also
Mm-hmm.
there's so many resources in YouTube,
Yeah.
and LinkedIn also provides some resources, if I'm not wrong, and Coursera as well. And the main thing is, if you have the spirit to learn new, then there by any way you will get some ways. This is the fundamental thing.
Yes.
So the bottom line is, if you want to learn, then there's so many ways, because the world is flat now. You can go anywhere you want. So that's the
Yeah.
thing. So please
That's true.
carry on. My question was, are you engaged with any sort of social organization at the moment?
At this moment, no, I'm not. So what I have done is, after coming to Canada, I was involved with a student organization, the Bangladeshi student organization here. Previously, if you don't know, I'm not sure, I worked with a suicide prevention helpline in Bangladesh.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. I,
yeah,
I, I, I read about that. And
yes.
by the
So,
way,
yeah.
so that thing popped up. Another question from my side. Sorry to interrupt
Mm-hmm.
you.
Go ahead.
I think this is a matter of great sorrow. If you see the recent situation nowadays, students like to commit suicide for many silly matter. And I don't know, you'll be surprised to know, University of Dhaka, like Faculty of Business Studies, one of the best business schools in Bangladesh, we say, even from that university, even from that department, and maybe some other department, we find many incidents that they have committed suicide just for the relationship, just maybe some other matter. So you worked with them, and I think you have learned quite lots of things. So my question to you is, would you suggest our young generation how can they moderate their what can I say, their pressure, and how can they can find any ways, even if when are in tremendous pressure? Because I think be it mental pressure, be it financial pressure, or be it any other pressure, pressure is pressure. So sometimes you cannot go with this pressure. So that's why some of our students don't have any way but to commit suicide. So my question to you is, would you please say some nice words so that they will not follow this sort of path in future?
Yeah, definitely. It's sad to hear that students and young adults are doing that and going to that path. And there are so many pressures from society, from family, from friends, probably from their relationship. So that happens to them. It's most of the time out of their control. That's what I actually learned working there most of the time. Um, so the first thing that comes to my mind is being aware of their mental health. If they are feeling that, okay, I am feeling suicidal, or no, I'm feeling depressed, it it could be it's just not sadness, it could be clinical depression. So seek for help, seek for medical help, or just call those helplines. I think there are additional helplines right now. It's not only suicidal helpline, but if you want to talk to someone professional or even semi-professional, you can make a call and talk. So being aware of your mental health, and that would also be a request. I know there are only students here, but it would really good if the parents of Bangladesh, they became more aware, because mental health is looked down upon still now. So if we were more careful, more aware, I believe this would go down.
Definitely, definitely. Our message to our young generation is, Don't just hide yourselves, hide your emotion, just be sitting in your room. Share with your friends, share with your parents. I think parents, how sometimes parents have nothing to do with that, because if our generation is more updated when it comes to social media or expressing their own mind, but sometimes our parents are backdated. They don't have that much capability to understand our mentality. But since we are educated, since we know the difference between right and wrong, we must come forward and share our experiences with our friends and parents as well. So I think this should be the message to all the young generation, all the people from young generation who belong to young generation.
Yeah,
Anyway, Rice,
sorry to interrupt there,
please, would
but
you like to
one
add?
thing that
Sure,
came
sure,
to my
sure.
mind is, if you as a young adult is noticing that someone you know is experiencing something, yes, they will share with you, but it's true, it's you're not a professional. So if you see something that's not like above normal level of depression, or you are concerned about them, refer them to some service. So you would probably be saving their life. You never know.
Right, right, right. So if any of my friend comes to me and say he's feeling down, he's not that much charged about, he's very sick of thinking something. So that's so I must what can I say? I must say him, refer him some sort of services so that he can change his mind and come out from this sort of situation.
Exactly.
Anyway, Raisa, my last question. So far, we have talked so much. Last but not the least, my last question is: School of Entrepreneurship Development. We people are very passionate about entrepreneurship, and we are trying to empower people for better Bangladesh. There are so many executives out there from many private and public universities, and you also said that doing anything is not easy. You are doing this presentation, and there are so many procedures out there. You have to take so many takes, and after that you become successful. So just like this, we have to do so many things. We had gone to so many ups and downs. Even after that, we are still now going very well. So what will be your message to platform like SED or School of Entrepreneurship Development, so that we can move forward in in more well defined way?
Very good question. I have been actually looking into the activities of School of Entrepreneurship Development. And I love the fact that you guys have been providing, mentorship to the youth, guidance to the youth, because there are many aspiring entrepreneurs who lack the proper guidance. They have the knowledge, they have the maybe mostly idea, a very good idea, innovative idea, but they don't know what the path is, or who should they connect with, how should they go about it, how do they get the seed funding. I noticed you help like kind of matchmaking with investors with that as well. So all those things, they are really kind of incentivizing the entrepreneur. So I love that fact about SED. And I have known my many friends who wanted to start a business, and the only barrier was the lack of funding or knowledge. So that's going to help youth like who are working with you. That's helping them a lot. My message would be, not only for executive, whoever is related to this organization, that it's never too late. For example, you're going through a path and you realize this is not working out. I thought it would, but maybe for some reason the circumstances are that it's not working out. You can change your path. I'm talking from experience because I have studied in economics, then now I'm working in a contact center that has nothing to do with economics, and now I'm thinking of changing my path to finance. So do what suits you the best and take all the help you can from the people around you. So that would be my message for everyone, actually.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the people who are watching this show, I think you must focus on one sentence: do the things that suit you most. And if you have passion about that particular thing, then definitely go for this, and at one stage you will get success. So it was great. What can I say? It was great moment talking with you. I think the students or many youths have learned so many things out of this session, and we are not finished yet. We have another segment. This is a rapid fire round, and under this rapid fire round, I will ask some questions, and your answer has to be rapid and full of fire. So are you ready for rapid fire round?
Hopefully, I'll try my best.
Okay, let's start. Cricket or football?
Cricket.
Okay, Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Okay, Felveda or Sherlock Holmes?
Sherlock Holmes.
How I Met Your Mother, Friends, Big Bang Theory, your favorite sitcom?
Ah, tough. How I Met Your Mother.
Okay, your favorite genre, folk, pop or rock?
Mm, folk and pop mixed.
Okay, Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, your favorite motivation?
Steve Jobs.
Andrew Kishore or Michael Jackson, your favorite singer?
Both.
Okay, so this it will be a tie. Anyway, আজ রবিবার or কোথাও কেউ নেই?
As Ruby.
By the way, have you watched those dramas? By the way,
Partially, not the whole, because yeah, I was too
okay,
young.
okay, okay. For the perspective of content, which one is your favorite?
I would say
আজ
As
রবিবার
Ruby.
or কোথাও কেউ নেই?
As
Okay,
Ruby, yeah.
uh, okay. আসাদুজ্জামান নূর or হুমায়ুন ফরিদী?
Astujjaman Noor.
Favorite destination for world tour, London or Paris?
London.
Uh, Tell 5 seconds, 5 words that end with ist. 5 seconds.
What?
One.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Uh, Tell me 5 words that end with ist. Use time starts now. One,
Wow, I'm blank.
three. Economist. You yourself is an economist, so it can be also
Wow.
a
Oh,
word.
ISD. I thought ISD. Oh, sorry.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
Ist. So I'm giving you time again. 5 seconds.
Economist.
5 words. Okay. Thanks.
um, economist, and then philanthropist.
Okay. Let me add specialist, gynecologist, and mentalist.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong. Okay. Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Shah, or Tom Cruise, your favorite actor?
Both Shah Rukh Khan and Tom Cruise.
Okay. So, for example, you have been awarded $10 million, and you have two options. Either you will go for lifelong world tour, or maybe you will be able to invest in your own business or startup. What would you do?
I'll probably go for the world tour.
Okay, definitely. I also thought so. Last but not the least, this is the question I ask every person that I interviewed. That is, if you somehow become or nominated or selected as the Prime Minister of Bangladesh for one day, then what problem you will solve first?
Safety for women.
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
Safety for women.
Okay, okay, definitely. So we will work for this segment. Anyway, Raisa, Sera, thank you very much for coming in this show. I think people or the youths have learned so many things, and it's not just an end. It's not the end. I think in future we'll come up with another show, and hopefully you will also discuss more informative things with us. I hope you will join with us in future as well. So
yeah, thank you so much.
thank you so much, Raisa. So again, this is night here, and maybe in your area is morning still now.
Yes.
So good morning again, and from my side, good night as well. So thank you very much. Stay safe, and hope to see you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Stay safe, and I wish all the best luck for SED and everyone involved.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.